Today is the first day of Kwanzaa. Today is the first day of Kwanzaa. And today is Umoja. Umoja. Unity. Unity. And as people know, I love all African people all over the world. We are unified as one. One people. One purpose. Crickets. Crickets. So we are doing man, I gotta do something. My battery, my phone is running hot. Let me do battery saver on here. So the phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. I'm assuming everybody had a good holiday.
Exceptional.
Huh? Exceptional.
Exceptional.
Good. Good.
Mine was good.
Drama free.
No cops.
No cops.
No, we didn't have no roof jumpers, no cops. Just that great granddaughter of mine, man.
Yeah, I just want you to know 3 people hit me also about you with a broom trying to push the lady off the porch.
Yeah.
Who said she was going to jump.
Would you sandmander?
No, she called herself gonna jump.
Off your porch?
Off the roof.
Where?
At my home.
Not this year.
Oh.
But in the previous
He's like, remind me not to come by.
That kind of drama happened. I just came by, get a little eggnog.
This was summertime.
Oh, okay.
Well, and he says when the woman says I'm a jump, after she had been up there threatening for so long, he got a broom and started trying to.
I was tired of the foolishness.
And then said,
if you're gonna jump.
What are those folks called when they go out in these emergency situations and they talk you down?
A crisis.
Crisis.
Yes, like you trying to talk to me till them people because you ought to call the fire department. They ain't showed up.
Was she related to you?
My cousin.
Am I asking too many questions?
Keith, I'm not trying to be on the couch.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody already.
Thank you, Dr. Myers, and it's good to know we were in fact praying for you.
I was even inquiring and praying.
Yeah, but
surprisingly,
I just because your handwriting is so awful and everybody talks about penmanship, you might want to share with me what that word is that you described my beloved alma mater as. Because I can't read it. I can't even read your last name. God, ooh. Was she in medical school? Not. Wow.
All right, she's gonna do like Coach.
This is why why we should get away from penmanship and get back and just do the block. You know.
See, I like the card, I like what she
Beautiful,
wrote.
thanks.
But she gonna put my name on there.
Your whole name? Your government name?
No. I ain't gonna say it, but yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your thoughts and prayers. I can read everything that she's saying. Yeah. Having friends like you means so very much to me.
I don't know if this is a French word or what this word is. Nondescript or nondescript. Nondescript. Oh. Oh. Nondescript. All right. Okay.
Are you sure it's nondescript?
That's what it finally. Yeah, it looks like nondescript. I thought it was a French word. I'm sitting going like, oh, that looked like nondescript, right?
Oh, that is nondescript. You're still a hater that went to a nondescript school.
120 West Silver Spring, babe.
Is it West Silver Spring? Shouldn't that be East?
Nah, it's West. I think going up to Santa Monica, then it goes.
That
east.
becomes East.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many a day, boy. I tell man that wind be coming off the lake on Silver Spring, dude. I mean, it was like that'd be the longest walk from the bus stop, especially when you going. You know, you got the hawk to your back. You know, then you can. But man, when you facing walking east,
the hawk to your back.
Yeah, man, the hawk. Because when I'm getting off the bus stop, going to school, I'm going west. Yeah. But then when I get going home, I got to go east.
Are they twins? They're gone now.
That's funny because my dad called it the hawk.
I was watching a little thing.
That's old school, Carvey. Everybody used to say
called the hawk. Man.
Yeah, they look like twins.
And we had the Hawk the other, what was it, about a week ago? Man, that win was. I was telling Michelle about the Black Chamber of Commerce Gala, and man, we were on ice skates when we left that joint. Picked the wrong day to wear pimp shoes.
Yeah. What'd you say the young dude said?
Huh?
What'd you say the young man told you?
Oh, it's slippery out here, sir.
Hey, old school. Hey, school.
School.
Looking
you
like
know.
a senior. We don't want you to fall.
Oh man, he saw me slipping and sliding,
Man,
but I was determined because I
still-
went to Archie's. I
still-
was determined to get that burger, man.
still
So
messes me up, man, because I'll be coming out the gas station. Hey, school. I be looking around. You know, who you talking to?
yeah, and I was telling we were leaving Friday, and me and DJ was talking. I go, DJ, there's a whole group of people calling you school, dog. That everybody, once you get to a certain point in life, they kind of.
Why y'all trying to drag other people into y'all stuff?
What you mean?
DJ is too
Because
young.
DJ will call you old in a minute.
Yeah, because y'all is old. And ain't nobody calling DJ
Y'all.
school yet.
Yeah, they calling him school. Let him go out there. He 30 something out there trying to play ball with some bunch of 18-year-olds. They look at him, man, like a seriously grown
trying to hurry up and drag him into your stuff.
I was watching Beyonce yesterday. I said, man, boy.
Did you see her daughter?
I didn't see Blue Eye because you know what? I forgot
she was right next to her.
No, I saw when she went up on she did her last song.
Yeah.
I caught the last song because I was watching who was on them? Was it the Celtics and
I don't know nothing about the game.
Oh man,
you get nothing.
Yeah, they had some good games on yesterday. Actually, it turned out, but I guess the NBA is a little upset because the NFL decided to play on Christmas Day and it wasn't.
Yeah, and like it was drama in the house because we had the one main TV in the family room,
right? And
Miss Polly wanted to see the basketball game,
but
Bruz was watching the football game, and she was. Hey, anybody care about that? I'm trying to see. Then we got to a whole thing because she started dumping on what's his name who got traded? That was my boy, Rue.
Giroux.
Yeah, Giroux. Yeah, Holiday. So she got to clowning him and did everything. But yeah, we had drama about the basketball versus
Philly
football.
won that game, didn't they?
Oh no, somebody won.
I thought Philly won that game.
We ain't have it on, so I ain't see it. But I know. But she ended up saying she was happy with whoever won. But yeah, Miss Polly
Philly
was acting up yesterday.
Well, that's what they're gonna look like when they full strength. That because Embiid played, Embiid was killing them. Oh man! But I thought.
Well, which one did you watch? Both.
I started off watching. The football game on Netflix. Then I went over. Who was the first game? First game was a good game too yesterday. Who was the first game? That one, Philly, Boston. Well, so the games were actually pretty competitive. The football games, not so much.
Well, they was acting like you was only gonna be able to see the halftime show on streaming service at first.
Netflix.
Yeah, but it was
because that's where the game was on.
Oh, I didn't realize we was watching Netflix.
Yeah, the game was on. Yeah, Netflix yesterday. They paid $150 million for each of those games. And so I don't know if this is the first time Netflix is.
So if you don't have
Netflix,
you couldn't watch it
unless you're in the market where the game is played. So Houston.
But you still got to have the service set up, though.
No, because then you get on regular.
Oh, you
TV.
get on regular TV,
right? So Houston. It was Houston, Kansas City. Who played tonight? The Ravens. Yeah, Ravens, man. I think Houston only scored 2 points, and that was on a safety. That was on a safety.
That's what we just said. We was having a debate about which one to watch.
Yeah, but I ended up watching this thing on HBO called Bookie. That's actually pretty good. It's a good series.
No, it's been on HBO in so long.
Yeah.
I forget to go because we got cable and the streaming. Yeah, so you got to use different remotes to be able to go in and out, switch to HDMI, whatever, one or whatever. And I forget to go back to regular TV or to cable.
Yeah. It was, during the election, I think HBO was a little, I don't know. They ended up doing the reruns of Veep, right? And that was kind of like, so how much is Kamala Harris like Selena Myers?
Nothing. Nothing
and
like her.
And Veep is just great. If you ever, man, that's like one of the funniest.
Veep is hilarious.
Veep
and
is
it's
crazy.
more in line with what really does go on.
Right. And so
Yeah.
I thought about that. But then, like I said, I stopped watching news. And even now I don't watch news as much. So maybe in some ways it was a good way of weaning me off of, because after a while it brings you down, man, because you're going up and down. We look at the poll numbers, you get excited, then you get other poll numbers, you're not as excited. Also, I got an article. I'll send it to you guys. Got an article I read this morning in the Washington Post on why Trump saw a significant gain in the Hispanic vote. And this particular article talked about Allentown, Pennsylvania. And back in the early 90s, you had particularly Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans who moved to Pennsylvania, right? They moved from New York City to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when I was in college, I had a classmate who grew up in Spanish Harlem, and then his family moved to Reading, Pennsylvania. And so they were like, he was Puerto Rican. No, he was Dominican. And so they talked about, and this thing that I thought was really fascinating, this whole piece on religion and the impact that religion had on this last election, maybe more than we probably even realized. And it says here, the article is by Michelle Borstein. For some Latinos, prosperity gospel led them to Trump. The set of beliefs have overtaken traditional theology centered on the poor. Some experts say this helps explain the shift among Latino Christians to Trump. You're talking about that guy, the Latino guy, who was like blowing out during the snow.
Mm-hmm.
See, Meech, they might they might send him back home. So you might want to think about that. So the Lehigh Valley barbershop was bustling with the next generation of American strivers. The mood among the young men, mostly first and second generation migrants from the Caribbean, was hopeful. Their candidate, Donald Trump, had just won the presidential election. Sitting in the high-end silver chairs, the men talked about the businesses that they had built or would build. They would be more possible, they hope, with the return of Trump, someone to whom they could relate, a businessman who has made mistakes, they said, but still keeps thriving. Commonly, they said, Trump is for the rich. I fight for the poor, but I don't want to be low class. This is again, Kamala said. I hope that that's not a bad way to say it, but I don't want to be there, said Christian Peon, 31, referring to Vice President Kamala Harris. He became a U.S. citizen last year, a decade after coming to the United States from the Dominican Republic, and cast his first presidential ballot for Trump. God doesn't want you to be poor. Okay, that's probably true. Next to him, his best friend, Wiley J. Castillo, 39, who owns the shop, and others worked the register as he talked about Trump's drive to succeed and overcome and survive. Castillo, who voted for Trump, identified with that. The Bible says God helps those who help themselves, right? Wrong. The Bible does not say that. I'll say it one more time. The Bible does not say that. That is Calvinism. Now, what the Bible does say, which people will then take and misconstrue, is in Thessalonians, where Paul says
the Bible does not say the Lord helps those who help themselves.
The Bible has never said that.
And you said that's who says
that's Calvinism.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have heard that for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Hang on.
Let's do it.
Let's look.
God helps those who help themselves. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I've heard that.
Yeah, actually.
They said it's attributed to Benjamin Franklin, who quoted it in Poor Richard's Almanac in 1757. However, the saying actually originated in 1698 in an article titled Discourses Concerning Government by Algernon Sidney.
Yep.
What? And it says that the phrase originated in ancient Greece.
As the gods
help those who help themselves.
Exactly.
Biblical. The phrase is not found in the Bible. The Bible teaches the opposite, with God helping for the helpless For example, Isaiah 25:4 says, "For you have been a defense for the helpless, a defense for the needy in
his
distress."
distress, and a refuge from the storm, a shade from the heat. So that is not in the Bible.
That's crazy.
That's deeply rooted in, again, Calvinism.
I say that mess all the time.
Yeah, but it's not in the Bible.
But at least I feel a little bit better knowing that the Greeks said the gods helped those.
And what happened?
Trying to figure out, but oh my God, Keith, thank you for the moment.
Oh, you're welcome. And the piece here, there's a term called Hellenization of the world, right? Hellenization. What does that mean? It means that Greek influence on the world. As a matter of fact, the Romans, even though they dominated the world, their culture, their education was based on Hellenistic thought or Greek philosophy. Okay. So this idea that God helps those who helps themselves, that is not in the Bible. And I think that people have used that, and we've used that to justify people when they're poor, saying that somehow you're poor because you're not helping yourself. Well, we know that a significant population in this country is the working poor. They get out every day. Some people working 2 and 3 jobs trying to make it work. And it seems as if God is not helping them.
So turn the phone around so you can see those callers. So somebody asked me, could you please just take a second and speak about Calvinism, because they were not familiar, or they hear the term but they don't really know.
I'll do this real simple.
What Calvinism is, and I know I pulled up the 5 basic points of Calvinism, but they like when you explain stuff.
Oh, really? Wow, Calvinism.
Such a nerd. Such a nerd. Such a nerd.
Okay.
Really? They like it, Michelle?
Yeah. Okay. Calvinism, also known as the Reformed Christianity, is a branch of Protestantism that organized in the 16th century. It characterized by the doctrine of predestination, which is the idea that God chose a limited number of people to be saved at the beginning of time. Calvinists believe that a person's eternal fate is determined by God and cannot be changed by anything they do in life, right? And so Calvinism is represented in modern times by the Presbyterians, the Continental Reformed and Congregational traditions, as well as some parts of the Anglican and Baptist tradition. The Calvinist form of Protestantism is the thought to have made a major impact on the development of the modern world. Are you the chosen one? Which gets us to supremacy of certain people, rooted in that, and this whole idea of self-help that people get up, pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Right.
You hear that in republicanism, that, hey, if you just get out and you just work hard, take your vitamins and say your prayers, you're going to get ahead in the world. That is not true. Sorry, not true. So,
I was listening to, it wasn't you. Who was I listening to? And they were talking about Booker T. Washington, basically kind of coming after
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Well, the whole piece about Reconstruction, and saying that, we started from the top when we should have started from the bottom. That basically the 2,000 Black people who got elected to, state offices, Congress, blah, 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 immediately after slavery was over, that they should have started in the fields and been willing to work their way up to those positions, that we weren't ready for those
positions. Let me say this to Booker T.
That is great. Whoop his
we would start in the fields if you gave us the fields. We should have gotten fields that we owned. Right.
But
we're working in somebody else's field.
As I say, though, the ability to be able to do both, because we had people that were clearly, Hiram Revels was clearly able to go straight to Congress. He was educated. I'm like, Booker T. It was just so, because I hadn't thought about it in a long time, hadn't had to, hear it, and the debate back and forth, and people were, I don't know what I was listening to, but they was actually debating it. But yeah, Clay Kang, that's what it was, because he was losing his mind.
Yeah, I think that the idea, one of the mantras that you hear in certain forms of republicanism is this idea that it was the welfare system that crippled certain people.
Right.
Primarily poor whites, Blacks, not so much Latinos, because Latinos, a lot of times, a lot of these folks weren't eligible for the benefit. like those public assistance benefits. And there was you mentioned it this morning, this idea of a work ethic,
Right.
that they were coming to America to get ahead. And this is why when you hear immigrants who come in the country talking about how hard they work, of course you worked hard, but there's some benefits that you had that people who are here. So when our Nigerian and Ghanaian,
or you are actually able to come and get some of the things done because of the hard work that other people have already done. You
sound like my mama now.
Yeah, you negating the fact that it was foundational work done before you ever got here, bruh.
Right.
And it was done by some of the very people that you have disdain for. Back to your point about the why Latinos were voting the way they were with Trump. Was it around religion? Was it around economic prosperity?
That and that's the whole prosperity gospel. That there are a lot of people.
But it's amazing to me that people are so willing to put money above all of the basic decency.
Cash rules everything around me.
But it's so crazy because if you do the right thing, you can have cash too. If you do the way
you can do the right thing,
you just won't have all of it. They want all of it.
Okay, all right.
Like I said, that Latino family who said, yeah, we came here illegally. We started a business. We now found a pathway to citizenship, but everybody else that's coming here is criminals. Like, what is you saying, man?
And have you read, is it Isabel Wilkerson's book, The Warmth of Another Sun?
The Warmth of Another Sun? Yeah, I haven't read all of it.
She talks about the South Side of Chicago. She
deals with caste systems a lot.
She did caste and then she did caste.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But then she talked about on the South Side of Chicago, and we know this is real talk. She said that there were Black folks who migrated from Mississippi, primarily because a whole lot of folks in Chicago from Mississippi, right? Mississippi, the South, they be up here 2 weeks. Michelle moves up here. Do you know they had the nerve to look down on Michelle?
Oh, yeah.
Because they'd only been here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Before
That was basically the sentiment of these Latinos who had come in.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I want to go back and find it. I want to see it. There is some documentary out that talks about the last 8 hours before the portion of Mexico that was co-opted and became California, and what that period of time was like. And it's because it's just so interesting how we, clown immigrants and clown Mexico and, this and this and this, when it's like, y'all, this was their land. Like
that little thing.
Yeah, this was their land. And as I always mention too, the fact that we also invited them into the country when we needed help during the wars, because all these American
and then we sent them back when Mexico needed workers. That's what Operation Wetback was back during the Eisenhower administration. As you said, you had X number of people who migrated from Mexico to help during the war.
Right. And let's be clear, we're asked to come.
Right. And
a deal was done with their government for them to come.
And then Mexico needs the workers.
Right.
So then they deport these folks back to Mexico.
Right.
That's Operation Wetback.
And so when some people said, was it, because remember Mark Belling called people wetbacks and it turned into a whole thing. And somebody was trying to say, no, that was actually a term used to describe that reverse migration back.
Right. Which was forced migration back based on the request of the Mexican government. Let's talk about this. And do you have this book?
What?
Donald Trump, when he went to church as a child, he went to Norman Vincent Peale's church, who is the author of the book, The Power of Positive Thinking, right?
Okay.
And then you get that whole prosperity, how do you think about the thing? And I do have a copy of that book. But let me say this real quickly, and then we'll come back let's go to the break, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about prosperity gospel.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say.
And caller, we see you. Just be patient.
It is no way you have the Mexican piece and not talk about it in terms of religion and what we doing in churches right now. Because you got people, like I said before I went to Christmas break. You giving them Christian Faith $1,000, you on the bus in 0 degree weather with an infant, taking her to daycare, going over here, and then got to ride the bus back to work. Like, what is you doing? But I went to church and
the holidays and holiday trips and holiday toys and holiday bonding And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's.
The passing of a loved one is emotional enough without adding the stress of funeral arrangements. By pre-planning, you receive the desires of your heart while taking away the burden from your family. It also saves you money, providing the dignity and respect your memory deserves. And there are times when life ends unexpectedly. Please know that the New Pitts Mortuary is here to lend a helping, caring hand anytime, day or night. We are the New Pitts.
And we're clear.
We're clear.
We wasn't clear.
Yeah, we saw what?
We
So if y'all heard anything I said, that wasn't for y'all.
we clear now. I mean, we're live.
Are we back now?
We're
Where are
back.
we? All right.
We're back.
All right. Welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning.
I had to take you off speaker real quick.
Okay.
I was listening to you. Can I deviate back to something Michelle had talked about earlier today that's really had a bug up my butt, and I'm glad that she talked about it today.
Sure.
You had what now, George?
A bug.
Yeah. Because me and Keith used to kind of go back and forth about this, and I what did Devo say?
No, he was just trying
Being
to.
inappropriate.
I ain't said
Being
nothing.
inappropriate. Ignore him.
Hope you get that thing out your butt.
He's stepping right now.
I got an appointment later on today.
Don't even. Just
No, he
ignore
said
him.
he got an appointment later on to get the bug.
Completely ignore
I'm
him.
going to go to the emergency later on. But Michelle, you talked about inflation, which was really driving me crazy. And I was seeing Keith stuff about how these companies, their profit rates and how they were increasing by driving up prices. And typically their profit margin might have been anywhere from 8 to, if they were lucky, 10%. But how their profit margins were like 50 and 75%.
Right.
It was pure greed. And I'm watching, we all watch sports, and you're looking at baseball, basketball, football, you name it, stadiums full, parking lot full, because, they like to do their little, what do you call it when they're out on the parking lot?
Tailgate. Did you see him tailgating at Green Bay Monday night? It was cold. They were still out there, man.
Still tailgating.
Yeah.
So this fool gets up talking about he invented the word groceries, right? How he gonna make your groceries?
I heard that. Somebody was trying to tell me about that.
How you gonna make your groceries come down? And all the time it's inflation. Michelle, I even sent you a thing, and I think I sent it to Keith too.
I got
about how even Kroger admitted how they were just jacking people because they raised the prices up. Now he's standing on TV talking about how he gonna lower prices. Now he's talking about he can't do nothing about it. It's gonna be hard. So Michelle, I was so happy that you had talked about that earlier today because all these companies, nothing but greed, Michelle. They hit you with these hidden fees that Biden's was trying to do or did something about it. But people, for whatever reason, Michelle, and I don't get it. I guess I'm gonna go to my grave trying to figure out what do they see in this man that they know, Michelle and Keith and Debo, that everything that comes out his mouth is a lie. Everything that comes out his mouth is a lie. But you're gonna trust him running this country? I don't get it.
Yeah, nah, we in trouble.
Yeah, we in trouble.
Now I'm gonna be kind of silly but serious at the same time to Mr. Grinch.
Who is that? Which one?
I'm finna say right now. So, Mr. Grinch, you sent Michelle a picture, right, that you wanted her to see, right? That's what I heard at the beginning of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did you want her to see it? Because you felt it was important to her, right? To you to see it, right?
Yeah, and so she could hate on it.
Even one. Now I'm gonna say this and being all sincere and sincere at the same time. When people send you a text wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and that all your family prospers, don't you think that's nice for somebody to do that to you?
Thank you, George, for the.
You didn't respond.
That was the.
You raggedy!
I knew that was going.
You didn't respond.
When people,
what is wrong with you, man?
Well, I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
Michelle, check this out.
Because he didn't send one to me.
No,
I responded to yours.
I'm talking about George that sent one to me.
Well, I already
responded.
I would have responded. So, thank you for doing what you did for Zamir.
That sent me something yesterday. It was late.
But
it was the day after.
Michelle. Even Meech responded.
What? You sent a Christmas greeting to Meech?
Michelle, I like Meech. I don't like his politics, but I ain't got nothing against Meech. I just don't like his politics.
I like him too, but I wouldn't be on record as saying that. I mean,
even Meech responded.
It wouldn't be no printed evidence that I like him.
I'm like, and I would have said one to Debo, but I don't have Debo numbers. But
look, he's talking about thumbs up, good. Because
what do you think? Good.
I'm telling you, he got thumbs up, good. Keep it that way.
Debo was too busy. Was Debo too busy trying to chase people off roofs? Huh?
Right. But I will say this.
Here we go.
I don't
It's serious.
typically like
I
to
will say this.
the text thing, especially if it's a group text.
Oh my God.
Oh, I don't do group
Text. I don't
He-
respond to.
I apologize for that, and thank you. Thank you for that, George.
Somebody take the
So I sent
time.
one to you. I sent one to you Thanksgiving too. So
Ooh!
stop fronting.
Oh, yeah.
So
Raggedy.
did he respond on Thanksgiving?
Nope.
And
So what
you
that
figured
mean,
you'd
George?
try it
You need to
again for
stop
Christmas?
sending it to him.
Hey, Michelle, I
Huh?
learned my lesson.
Yeah, don't send him
What
nothing
do they
else.
say? What
Ungrateful.
do they say? First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. It won't be a third time.
Yeah, ungrateful. Don't send him nothing.
You're
Don't
terrible,
send. And I just was telling somebody this yesterday because they was acting all
terrible
crunchy because
guy.
you know
Jeez.
Christmas greetings was just rolling through, and they was just all these people now everybody Merry Christmas. Hey! Be glad somebody cared enough about you to think of you to take the time to sit down and send you a message.
That's
Because
my whole point.
there's some people ain't getting no messages. Don't nobody
whole
care about
point.
you.
Are you getting
your
this?
day, what's going on. And so I had to actually like snatch somebody's coattail yesterday to be like, if you don't stop complaining because somebody took time to think about your dusty behind today, because there are people nobody checked for them. Nobody checked for them. Did nobody send them?
I love it. Crunchy and dusty.
I'm just saying. Did nobody send a Merry Christmas, a greeting, a text message, a happy? Wasn't thinking about you. Your whole day went and you didn't get not one single message. Who want to be that person aside from Debo? Nobody. Tell nobody want to be that person.
I'm gonna get ready to
aside
go
from
because
Debo?
My grandbaby been itching to go to Walmart. One of his favorite places. What's the other one up on Myers? So he can spend his little $25 special.
Hey, get him in there. Get him in there. Get him in there.
Michelle, and I said this before, but you made his day. And God bless all of y'all. And if I don't talk to y'all before the new year, y'all have a blessed and happy new year.
Yes, sir.
Even
Don't send Keith nothing in 2025.
I look forward to hearing from you on New Year's.
George, if you send him something on January 1st that say Happy New Year's, I'm done with you, George. I'm done with you.
Hey, Michelle,
yes.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Carvey, help him out, Carvey.
I'll talk to y'all later.
All
right.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Carvey, let me hear you do that again.
Trifling.
He's speaking himself.
And then when he said it, he was talking about you, Debo.
Who was Carvey?
Yeah,
I know Carvey was talking about me.
You you don't have a problem.
Change the subject.
No, I'm gonna stay on this. You really don't have a problem joining the gang, do you?
Do you? Do you?
I try to defend you
Jump
every chance.
in both feet.
I try to defend you every chance.
You got
I get.
people out in the community feeling sorry for me. They was talking about that at the little get together yesterday. They showed me clowning you on the radio. And
I bet you just sitting there taking it all in. Going, yeah, they do.
They said, "Ooh, Keith and Debo do you so bad." Look, and they even said, "Carvey be trying to help you out. It looked like Carvey for you." I said, "Carvey is for me. The rest of them, and Jermaine is for me. But these two right here, yes."
No. Carvey ain't said nothing over there.
Yeah, but what he does say something is for me. Yeah. Thank you.
You down with Michelle Carvey?
When I say something, it means something.
Yeah.
So we're just over here gibbering, just talking gibberish.
As we use
his meaning.
His indigenous name, man of few words. Man who talks slowly.
What's his quote you like that he said?
It ain't on me. It's in me.
So we got some Carveyisms.
It's a man of few words.
Didn't have a mic.
Carvey. You know your kids and your grandkids are gonna be talking about. Papa Carvey. He was a man of few words, but when he said the words, it meant something.
Profound. Terrible.
Because what is it again, Keith? I always forget it. I ain't what?
It ain't on me.
It ain't on me.
It's in me.
It's in me. Yeah, I need to be on a t-shirt, bro.
So hey.
I'm just saying.
Hey. I don't think he copyrighted it.
We should get that.
Yeah.
It ain't on me.
I'm sorry?
It ain't on me. It's in me.
I like that. Just like I was in Walmart. And this
Where's your theme music? You need some theme
he
music.
walked through. When I walked through.
There's some
When-
theme music here.
The sister was in Walmart. She had on a sweatshirt that said, what did it say? Something like black women are, it was something about black women are the bomb, basically. And she was just getting this, holiday. So she rushed it. I said, hey, like that sweatshirt. She said, hey, girl. I was like, yes, I need one of those.
Should we be
masses
mindful of
what?
now that we're visual?
Absolutely.
Should we be mindful of the brands that we support because we are visual?
No, because if you really mean it, you're not going to wear it regardless, whether you can see me or not. So if I'm only worried about it because you can see me, then I'm fake jaking. If I'm not supportive of a brand, I'm never going to have it on.
So let me ask you a question. Who do you dress for?
Clearly me.
Exclusively you?
I mean, let me be clear. I don't believe that the public should be subject to me looking like a hag. I just don't believe that. So while you may not get over the top, you might not even get like, okay, she doing it. I'm going to be clean and fresh when you see me. There will have been bath
Because
water.
she's fresh.
Clothes will have been washed.
Exciting.
Because I just swear, like, a man set a lady on fire on the train in New York and killed her.
Yeah.
While
and
she was sleeping.
Of course, he would be an undocumented.
Yeah, he was an undocumented immigrant.
Had been kicked out the country.
Yep.
Got back in. He gonna be the poster child.
I'm waiting for it, but she was asleep on the train in New York and on the subway, and he set her clothes on fire, and it engulfed her. I'm gonna tell you why I certainly, deplore what he did. When I be seeing people out in the pajamas at the grocery store, at the store.
And don't let them have on a bonnet.
I'm just saying. It's just so nasty.
You can wear bonnets at the house, though, right?
I mean, like I said, of course you can.
Bonnet
You at
is
home,
supposed to be sleepwear, isn't it?
but it's for bedtime.
Okay.
I just don't see you walking around with your bonnet on all day, like for the whole day. Like, and other people live with you. I'm not trying to look at you in your bonnet all day, Lakeisha. I'm not trying to look at you in your bonnet all day. But the people who wear pajamas, I just want to say this. Because when you go outside, everything that's outside gets on your clothes. So the wind blows, dirt, debris, it's on your clothing. And some of y'all had them pajamas on at Walmart and then go get in y'all bed with them same.
I think it's acceptable.
clothes
I think
on.
it's acceptable at Walmart.
It's not acceptable anywhere, Keith.
I think it's acceptable.
It
at
is
Walmart.
not.
Okay.
Walmart just can't say nothing.
What
But
you
it's
mean?
not acceptable.
Walmart could care less what you wearing. Oh, they want to know
That's what I'm saying.
What you buying.
But it looks so nasty. I'm like, why would you? And like grown people doing it, not just some of the little kids. I know they think they're cute. They got on their little pajama pants. Okay, you 16, you still built for some pajama pants. Some of these folks ain't built for pajama pants in public no more either. But they pajama pants, man. All right, I'm done.
You sure?
Yeah.
Any other little pet peeves?
No.
Anything else that grinds your gears? I mean, to just get you going. Just.
Oh, you don't have any? I know I'm not alone. You have no pet peeves?
Do I have pet peeves?
Yeah.
Yes.
Name one.
Improper use of adverbs.
Oh my God, you are such a nerd, Jesus Christ. Improper use. Can you give an example of an improper use of an adverb?
Addy, get your adverbs here.
And why your thumbs go up in the
Oh, because I love that song. That I don't know. Out of Schoolhouse Rock, I think adverbs is my favorite. And then I'm just a bill.
I'm just a bill will forever. And Addy adverb was, it was a cute little jingle. But I'm just a bill.
Now you asked me. I had a brain freeze. When would it be appropriate? How do we use adverbs?
That was your pet peeve.
What adverbs?
Dude, the biggest nerd.
What adverbs?
You and Lakeisha. Just the biggest nerds. Well, no, I'll take it back. She got way more flavor than you. She knows hip stuff too. You don't.
I don't know any hip stuff. I mean, I'm not.
You know,
cool,
music
cool like that, man.
outside of music,
outside of music,
and you know, you do okay with clothes.
we, that's the Bobby Brown. Wow,
Bigger than New Edition. I was still getting those yesterday.
What else did you get?
Let me see. Yeah, I was still getting those yesterday. I was just like, Lenny Williams, because I love you.
Okay. I came up with one yesterday.
Bone Crusher.
Sam Cooke, Bigger Than the Soul Stirrers. You know, Sam Cooke came out of the Soul Stirrers, but
I
Sam
didn't
Cooke,
even know that.
yeah, yeah, he started off so Sam Cooke. I'm trying to think who else just went on, left the group. Obviously, we did Beyonce, right?
Oh, I got a text message. Some people played Black Heart Revoked in your honor yesterday.
Oh man, I gotta find my game. Oh my God, I gotta. Have you seen The Blackening?
The what?
The Blackening.
Blackening?
The Blackening. Yes.
No, what
this
is
movie
that?
came out last year, and it's a black horror movie.
Really?
But these guys are college friends, and some of the things that they do, and I think they ended up talking.
Well, these are young people. Oh, my boy is in it.
Who that?
Dark skin dude right here. Let me look at the cast real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, you know, I went to see it. I actually went to the theater to see it.
When? I never even heard this being advertised.
Oh yeah, it was a thing for a minute.
Look, The Blackening. We Can't All Die First.
On here. And I do have the book. Speaking of geek, The Black Guy Always Dies First.
Did you?
And they go through. You go to certain movies, but talk about being a nerd. And I don't know if Lakeisha's listening. I was watching Cabin in the Sky last night. Was it Cabin? No. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, she was watching it too.
Ethel Waters is in A Wonderful Life.
Playing.
At the end, when you see him, they're all celebrating everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ethel Waters. I thought, wow. Okay. It's a Wonderful Life. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250 as we wind down the year. Again, today is the first day of Kwanzaa, Umoja, which means unity, that we come together. Now, our dearly departed friend Keon really had a problem. His problem with Kwanzaa wasn't Kwanzaa and its principles. His problem with Kwanzaa was Ron Karenga. And he believing that Ron Karenga was a government snitch. That's kind of, but it's real interesting because even some of the people that I know, what's her name? Elaine Brown, who was with the Black Panther Party. That was one of the allegations that they put out on her, that there were people who were cooperating with the government in terms of spying and sharing information. I was talking to someone, and they was talking about a particular caller, and I pointed out to them that, you know, we in our community, we do have plants, you know, people who are here to do misinformation, to distort things, and just do enough. And it seems if we get back to the election really was, we heard this term, a margin election. We're just talking about the impact of prosperity ministry. In terms of evangelicalism, the fastest demographic group is Hispanics, right? There are a lot of Hispanics who are walking away from Catholicism. And then when they embrace Protestantism, they're getting into the real fundamentalist kind of, Pentecostalism, the whole thing. But I think it's fascinating because this gets into this whole theological divide that we have in Christianity.
So before you go, because I got a inbox about what was the deal on Karanga.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to tell them, you know, because you kind of brushed on it, but So I'm just gonna read it because I feel better reading it as opposed to offering up my own right now.
Okay.
So this is one person who wrote about it. They said, I have no quarrel whatsoever with those who celebrate and find value in Kwanzaa. But for many of us who took part in or were simply aware of the Black Panther Party in the late 60s and the early 70s, the Kwanzaa holiday is inseparable from the career and persona of its inventor, Ron Karenga. Back in the day, Karenga headed up an organization called US, a tool of COINTELPRO, the federal counterintelligence program directed at movement organizations. Karenga's US organization murdered two leading members of the Black Panther Party in LA,
Bunchy Carter,
Al Prentice, Bunchy Carter, and John Huggins, and two more in San Diego, Sylvester Bell and John Savage. To my knowledge, Mr. Karenga has never expressed the faintest remorse or regret for these murders or for his part in furthering the nefarious aims of federal and local police agencies in their assault upon the movement of those times. Karenga was later convicted, along with his wife, of kidnapping and torturing two women in his own organization, a crime for which he served 4 years in prison, and one of which he still claims to be innocent. Some of Karenga's close and credible associates, however, like former US chair Wesley Kabalia, maintained Karenga was not only responsible for those women's torture, but it was a part of an ongoing pattern over the years. And so that's kind of the gist of it. So, and people were talking about, like, can the persona impact the work? And so the example this person was using is Spelman College suspended the Bill and Camille Cosby endowed professorship because of the stuff that had come out now about Bill Cosby. So people were saying, whether or not I could or I couldn't. Somebody asked me, like, Michelle, were you aware of it? Yes, I was. And they just talk about, like how Fred Hampton was targeted by COINTELPRO. They talk a little bit about Bunchy. Bunchy was less than 30 years old. Even after all these years, if Karenga would come forward and admit what he did and begin his final years to apologize, ask for forgiveness, I could kind of get around it. But yeah, people was like, nah. So I just had to just tell you, and this was written a while ago, but that's what it was. Because some people had not ever heard or understood. I had people that didn't know he had gone to jail for that.
Do you think also, let's take away, because there were a lot of folks who were trying to survive. I'll put it that way. Do you also think, though, because Kwanzaa is more rooted in certain African values, that there are people who just don't see themselves as, I would say, celebrated, or what's the word for it, commemorating?
But it's rooted in more than just African values, because I agree with the writer who talks about that it is a fusion of the Jewish menorahs, Swahili words, Kemetic, Christian, and other rituals, so that they brought in, different elements from different, ethnic practices, cultural practices, to be able to ultimately create it. So it's not just solely rooted in African ideology or beliefs and practices, but it pulled a little bit. Because that was the first thing I thought about when I saw, the candles. And I was like, I thought of the menorah right away.
And yesterday was the first day of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And but the Hanukkah candle, that's the menorah,
right,
is 8.
I mean, it's a difference, but
the Karanga is,
it just reminds
7.
people. It reminded a lot of people of that.
Well, people always do, and that's the other piece of it. I was sitting in, when I'll let people in on my little secret Christmas evening. What I do is just light a fire and just sit there and listen to music, right? And I happened to look over by the fireplace, and I saw a broom. I saw the broom that we jumped when we got married. A young lady, I was participating in her wedding. She decided that she was going to do libations.
Okay.
And she wasn't going to jump the broom. And so when, oh man, we jump in the broom. That's something that we took from Roots, basically. And I go, oh, she said, no. She said, jump in the broom is a practice that was done in enslavement. She said, we are no longer enslaved. And so if I'm going to do anything, then I'm going to do something that is more ritually akin to where we were in Africa, and libations, and every cultural group does libations, right? Everybody has their own form of what libations was. So I thought about that. Even watch night service, right? There is a particular pastor in this city who says that they will no longer do watch night.
You know what? But I'm mad because she is wrong.
Who's wrong?
The person who said that jumping the broom, it did not start in slavery. That started in Africa. And the people that were enslaved that had come from West Africa brought that with them as a tradition. And I had to go back and look it up because I wanted to pull up the specifics of it. But no, it did not start as a result of slavery. And that was the only way we could, in some way put a ring on it.
It's symbolic of jumping from one life into a new life.
But
together.
it didn't start. It didn't start during slavery. It actually started on the continent in West Africa.
Right, because she was making the argument that that's why she wouldn't do it.
No, that's not true. That's not how that happened.
The pastor who said that, hey, we're no longer, because now here's the interesting thing about watch night service. The people who would be more apt to do watch night service are older. They don't want to be out, right? They don't want to be out like midnight because when the gunshots firing, they want to be in the crib. But it may be to examine. This Christmas has been very interesting for me. I can't speak for anyone else because it does, when we begin to ask questions about why we do what we do, a lot of times we may or may not be aware of the historical roots, that archaeology, the anthropology of why we do what we do culturally. And so Christmas for some folks, and then as adults, why doesn't Christmas have the same meaning it did for you as a child? Because as a child, you were the receiver usually, right? And
what do they say? When I was a child, I understood as a child.
Yeah. And so I think that it doesn't, when we have these conversations, and it kind of circles us back to this whole idea of prosperity ministry and why it is so popular among certain groups of people, usually strivers, right? The people who feel like, God, if God is with me, I'm going to be prosperous. And that puts us in a very interesting discussion when it comes about the involvement of God in our day-to-day existence. How much of it is God? How much of it is us, right? Because you can say the Lord did it, but you got up and went to work. So how much?
But I think the thing also about that, and this is for somebody who struggles with religion, is so when bad things happen, who was that?
That's the problem.
Just seriously, like I listen, people be like, I just want to thank the Lord for helping us win this championship. So you think the Lord had a hand in the other team not winning? And if he didn't,
and
why would he do that?
Somebody asked the question, have you ever heard anybody who lost, got up and the first thing out their mouth was, let me thank the Lord Jesus?
Right.
So it's
it's just one of those things that, God pulled me through. Well, if you didn't get through, then what? God left you? Like, I just, because maybe the plan was for you to go through that because you needed to learn a lesson. If I don't know, if
but you gave a testimony that I thought was really, it was moving.
What?
When you were talking about your truck and the light when you went up to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use the word, and it's offensive to some folks, but I'm gonna use the word superstition.
Mm-hmm.
Strongly, it's a belief. Beliefs may or may not be based in fact, right?
All right.
And so when, I said I had this epiphany like a week ago that we live in a matter-based world. We always lived in a matter-based world. It's always matter. What human beings bring to it is a certain consciousness of how we think about things, right? And so we need answers. What we want answers. Human beings want answers. And, one of the basic questions people ask, we talked about all the loved ones who, especially when people die, and I'm going to use this term in parentheses, tragically, right? Why? You know, why does a person who paid their tithes, did everything they were supposed to do, and then they're still faced with tragedy? How does a person who has lived the most ill-gotten life ever, and it seems like nothing happens?
Right. Donald Trump. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really. And so,
Yeah.
and that was the sense, because I didn't really kind of deal with this issue of how Donald Trump got elected. I mean, we can get into the numbers, but there were some people who were saying, you know, and these were people supporting that it must be God. God is not partisan. I'll go out on a limb on that. God is not a member of a political party. I'm gonna even go even further. God is not a member of a religion.
No, but I heard it even go the other way for the folks that didn't want him to win, but have a religious leaning. And they said maybe it was God's effort to get the attention of people.
Whoa.
So he would make it so bad, you know, it would be a form of punishment that you would understand, you know, the error of our ways. We need to, you know, like, so, because people, you know, like, I was surprised, but I had some people that actually said they thought it was a punishment of God's or an ability to teach people, you know, like, when you not engaged, when you not, because that was just like I said when I read Eddie Levert's statement about his daughter passing at 22. And there, or no, when this wasn't when the baby girl passed, but when the two boys passed within a year of each other or so. And Eddie Levert said, when Gerald dies and then Sean dies, I wonder if it was God punishing me for the life I had lived. And I'm like, but why would he, you know, so that's the part that's just so crazy to me when people try to ascribe God to things that are happening in their lives. And when you apply it and you know, or like the bus driver who done killed the 79-year-old man the other day. Yes, what was it, yesterday? Well, the 37-year-old, however old the other person was, he's in the hospital. So why was one life spared and the other one wasn't? You know, and then,
what about the person?
Because the 37-year-old be like, God saved my life. But when you say that, so God decided to let this life go. Like, so that's why I said we gotta be careful when we say and do.
Aristotle described the deity as the unmoved mover. That there's certain things that happen in existence that the creator is actively involved in. And then there are other things. And then only then when there's a situation where there needs to be divine intervention. So I don't, you know, I think that's the other problem that I have is that I'm less dependent on belief. I'm a little bit more concerned about what the facts are. And then should my belief system propel me to be a better person? I think that is it. And we have a lot of, I'm gonna use another word, catechisms. We have a lot of rituals that we do. You know, it's like one of my favorite ones is at the end, every knee will bow, right? Every tongue will confess.
Right.
And you kind of go like, yeah, but Carlton Pearson got in a lot of trouble. Because when Carlton Pearson said that if Jesus died, and he's literally taking the words, and he said that Jesus died for everybody, he said that would include the devil. So at first I thought that, oh, maybe some of these fundamentalist folks were really upset about this idea that even the devil had a chance for repentance and change. But then I began to dig down and find out what folks were really pushing back on. Because what he was saying, because the reason why he even got to this whole idea, this universal sense of God, was his church musician was dying from AIDS. Mm-hmm. And the very thing you said, the church musician is saying, what did I do for God to punish me? Right? What did I do? And when you think about that, this idea that, yeah, we can tell you that there are consequences for your behavior. How much of that is God and how much of that is you? Okay. How much is it if I'm dealing with my hypertension and I have hypertension, my hypertension wasn't anything that was passed on to me genetically. My hypertension is based on my lifestyle and my behavior. Is that God or is that me? You know, so I think, but the things that we don't understand, that's why that Stevie Wonder song Superstition is such a deep song. He says, because those things that we don't understand, we use superstition. That's what it does. There was a concept I'd learned my freshman year in college. And again, I'm at a religious school, so even when we do science, it's kind of, religiously tinged. And this idea, the guy said, if God knows everything, is there things that God doesn't know? Which was really kind of fascinating. So now we have to go back. And so I think that's what we have philosophy for. That's what we have theology, religion.
Because it's just one of the things that you struggle, because it's 330 million people in the United States.
Right.
If you think about how many people are in the world,
7 billion.
And so at any given time, at any given moment, God knows what's going on in 7 billion people's lives. Like, it's just people that struggle with even the mathematics of all of that.
But if you put it in perspective,
Go ahead.
The vastness of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something that I actually did a geek part of a trip. I was in New York. Something I never did when I was young. When I was older, I went to the Museum of Natural History, and their planetarium. They showed a movie called When. What was it? Universes Collide.
Collide, yeah.
Did you? Yeah, and how that was all created. So human beings have an outsized sense of their importance, our existence, right? And when we realize that we're just a grain of a grain of sand in existence, that's just too much for us to. You can't comprehend it. Because
everything. In terms of science that we are taught is that we are the superior specimen on Earth.
Exactly.
And so, we don't look at it as we are just a cog in the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That is the environment, that is the Earth, or that is the world, whatever you want to talk about. Everything has elevated us, that we are the smartest, the most sophisticated, the blah, 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 blah. And so we don't see, that's why I think environmentally it's hard to respect the land. It's hard to respect our surroundings because we don't see ourselves as a part of this, interdependent on it.
But there are other religions that really, I think it's Hinduism.
Somebody says, so what is karma? Just to throw that in there.
Karma is. Say that again.
Karma is what you put into the universe.
Thank you very much. Karma is that whatever you plant, you're gonna harvest.
Yes.
From a religious thing, it says, well, if you do evil, you will get evil. But karma really, and karma, I think it's Hinduism, where it just pretty much says that it's the things that we do, right, that will have impact on our lives. So we call it seed time and harvest. I think Paul says that which we reap, we shall sow. And it's kind of a sense of same thing when it comes to karma. Karma, though, is not moral. There is no moral attachment to karma, right? I saw you just pulled it up. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, because I just, as you, etymology, origin, just different stuff. So karma, which the keywords are actions. But I'm looking for, it was something else I wanted to see. Hang on. Because I'm just trying to see how far back.
And I do believe karma is real. I believe that
and it's an Indian concept.
Right.
Karma is an ancient Indian concept that refers to an action, work, or deed and its effect or consequences.
Right.
In Indian religion, the term more specifically, karma is a causality principle focusing on three concepts: causes, actions, and effects.
There you go.
It is the mind's phenomena that guide the actions that the actor performs. Buddhism trains that the actor's actions for continued and uncontrived virtuous outcomes aimed at reducing suffering. So other people have gotten in on it.
Oh, I think even in Christianity and Judaism, it's all that you reap what you sow.
Right.
And again, we use it from a moral lens, you do evil, you get evil back. But it's not just that. It's just anything that we do in life there are going to be consequences for our actions.
Yeah.
And
I was just telling somebody that their car was messing up and they was all hot and and I can't get. I said, hey, when you have bread, you don't take care of that car.
Right.
So you drive it till the wheels fall off. You don't do the scheduled oil changes. You don't do the scheduled maintenance. Scheduled maintenance is not a suggestion. It is necessary.
Right.
You do none of those things. So then when stuff happened, why be Lord? Negro. Because you just spent $400 on an ombre hat. That's why you.
And it's probably true that if I was excessive in certain type of physical behavior, I'm going to reap the consequences of that physical behavior. I don't know if that's God as much as it is. We put into thing it in that term where the Bible says, and this is Paul tells us to faint not. Let me do this. Faint. It's something. Faint not in terms of doing good, right? Don't get tired of doing good, because in due time you will receive the harvest. So in other words, if I'm investing in certain types of things, I'm going to begin to
so this is from Galatians 6:9.
Thank you,
Faint
Pastor.
not in well doing.
For
I know you're doing too much now.
for in due season, right?
Let me see. Oh yeah. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Rod and I used to watch.
That's
We love these. Usually apostolic preachers, right? So the first guy we call I think his son was Dooney. So when he get up and read, he's preaching. He said, "Read, Dooney," and Dooney would read, and then he'd go through. They read, Dooney. And then the other one, I saw this guy. He's still on now. No, he's not on. He hasn't been on. He had a son. He was twin. He said, "Read, twin." So he would read it. But yeah, Rod loved Dooney. Oh, Dooney get up, and they were clean. Oh man, they had it.
Because I'm about to
be
in front of everybody.
It had some people get up and they would read. But yeah, I think that is. And then for those of us who subscribe to Christianity, when I was talking to Meech last week, we were having this discussion. And I find it really amazing for many Christians, they don't go to Jesus first. They don't go where Jesus taught or what did Jesus teach on this. It's all the religion now that has crept in to the teachings of Christ. And George, thank you, because in George's message to me, on Christmas, obviously I read it. He uses the 2 commandments that Jesus gave, right? The one that you love God, and then you love each other as you love God. Jesus talked about how can you love a God who you have not seen, but then you struggle with someone that you see every day. Right. So I think if people really, and this is the.
But I tell people too, we have a tendency to treat others better than we treat the people that's closest to us, the people that's in our homes.
You know why?
The people that are our friends.
You know why? Because human beings can be jacked up.
But I also think because there's an element that we just take people for granted. You're supposed to love me. You have to love me. Yeah. You have to be my friend. Right. Whatever I have a license to say whatever I want. And I have this conversation periodically on my show about you don't though. You don't.
You can.
You don't. You
don't do it because what's going to happen is it's not going to be there.
Yeah, eventually folks get tired.
They're going to get
everybody.
Right, because you're going to find out
Fannie Lou Hamer.
that the love that you think, that's what happens in a lot of marriages. The love you thought you had for that person, once you begin to be exposed to that person. When I used to be a caseworker.
But people also stop working for your love. They stop doing things.
But that's the whole thing about genuine love. You don't work for it. It's given freely. There's nothing that you did to
well, you know what? I've always been a little iffy on that. Because yes, with the initial, it depends on who it is. Because some people, I watch you and I fall in love with the things that you do when you are. I pay attention to your kindness, your generosity, the way you interact with your mother or your father, the way you talk to people, your love for life. So there are things that I grow to love about you. versus falling in love with
And I'm gonna tell you,
but you can do stuff to continue.
I wish you loved me as much as you love Keon, because you be talking about Keon, and then something happened. Who first went over there? You.
But I mean, because it was the same.
Because you love him,
Yeah.
and just because I love you don't mean you perfect.
No,
I'm love you.
But the other thing
love
is,
you in
though,
spite of your imperfections.
But let me be clear. No, because for every moment that boy got on my nerves, and it was so many of them. It was almost daily. For every moment he got on my nerves, there was a counter moment
where he did something. Where you go?
We got to go feed these people. We, I wanna go do XYZ. Can you help me with a proposal to write a grant?
No. What I'm saying is,
so you saw it,
but you love each other
for me.
But you didn't love him based on what he did. You loved him just because you did, right?
Yeah,
you did. You love him just, you know what I mean? Because that's what love. That's what real love is. Real love is I love you in spite of you. Your bestest friend. Now, here's the difference between you and your family. Your bestest friend, you can go share anything with. They ride or die. Go try to share something with your mama sometimes.
Well, you ain't supposed to.
And by the time she got finished with you going like...
Because it's a different kind of relationship. It's a different love. Because your mama is always, hopefully, if you got a good mama, they looking down the road at the consequences of these actions and these decisions and these moments. And they're, they are still in protect mode. Your friends are willing to let you be you and figure it out.
Because it's judgment free. It is judgment.
Not always, because you got some judging.
Oh, no.
They ain't real friends.
They ain't real friends. I'm talking about, I'm going to get in your behind.
Yeah.
But when they come for you, I'm there with you.
Yeah, I'm going to stand there with
you. I'm going to stand there
with
you. And that's what happens with love relationships. Oh, you were so in love when you first met him. Like the first time I met you, I'm like, oh man, I love that woman.
So stupid.
And then I got to know her, and I'm going like, damn, I don't have that much love.
This trifling.
I don't have that much love. And so when I think about how we put meaning to the things that we say and the things that we do, I beat up on myself a lot, man, because I fall short. Like again, not responding to George. That wasn't like I had him. That's just me being trifling. And I hope that in spite of my triflingness, that because people that's the thing. But I thank God for this. I thank God for the people. I'm talking about and I don't use, because Keon said something that was just so profound. We were talking about friendship. Mm-hmm. Your bestest friend, your closest friend. And Keon said, no, if you're a friend, that word in and of itself has power. You don't have to modify it, right? It's a friend, right?
I would hear him, people would try to like either do layers or, there were types of friendships, and then he was like, you're a friend or you're not.
Right.
Period.
And I hate
you a friend or you not.
All right, Jermaine and Debo, I'm back to funerals.
Because that's why people are like, that's an associate.
Yeah.
I have associates.
I'm back to funerals.
Okay.
Don't you hate when everybody get up, they were the bestest friend? I was his best friend.
But the thing is, I think too, and because I thought about that, I heard y'all talking about it. Think about our life, especially if you've lived a little bit.
Okay.
50 years, 60 years. I've had different best friends over the course of my life because of like my friends in college, my sorority sisters, work colleagues. So, and I've had, periods, and I've stayed close to some people I have not, in terms of talking on a regular basis, but they know if they call me based on the strength of what we was in college, what we were, when I first started working, I'm still that same person, but I can look at different people in my life and they have different periods of my life. And they right. When they telling this story, when we was 20, this was my ride or die. We was burning up the city.
That's beautiful.
I'm just saying.
Thank you for that, Michelle. You actually gave a pass.
That's not a pass.
I ain't see you. Don't we sit up here?
But I don't I tell people all the time, I don't have to see you and talk to you on a regular basis for you to be my people.
You know, people got real power. I mean, just the power of their personality and who they are. And I don't, Jackie Zeldine, you know, her dad and I is my best friend. So, you know, when he passed, we're at his funeral. That's a big family.
Okay.
So I asked a question. I said, stand up if you're Bobby's favorite. Half the church. Half the church.
Because also there are people who
make you feel like, but yeah, half the church stood up. And I'm going, some of y'all, I done heard them talk about some of y'all need to sit down. So you ain't, no, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, I think if you're able to do that, you know, and I said that I would hope that, you know, at my home going, that if nothing else, well, a couple of things. One, that my nieces and nephews say I was the cool uncle. I'm really working hard on that.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm working hard on that.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm working hard on
that. You are a nerd. It's not
but still,
happen.
I'm, you know,
unless they're nerds too.
Uncle Keith, cool.
They're not gonna say that.
I remember this
they're
one.
Gonna say you're a good guy, but they're not gonna call you cool under no circumstances. But they are going. Shut up, Carvey. But they are going to say he was smart. He was nice. He was kind, but nobody. He was kind. Nobody's gonna call you cool, Keith. It's not gonna happen, bruh. Let it go. Let it go.
You was talking about Atlas this morning, and I'm going like him and Kennedy. They in trouble because Kennedy, just be smart, baby. Kennedy, don't leave it there. Kennedy go, because I'm smarter than you. I'm like, oh, just be smart. They already gonna be mad at you for being smart. Don't be smarter than you.
Well, I'm just worried because my poor grandchild, you know, he just has not had conflict. There ain't nobody to fight with over no toys.
Right.
It ain't no drama.
Right.
You know, the people he got to deal with is his parents because there are no cousins. And he go to school and these little kids be like trying to take his stuff. And at first, Atlas was just standing there like, wait, what's happening right now? You don't just take stuff out of people's hand. And they like
your son got a basement?
No, not in this house.
No. But he got like a man cave, rec room.
Yeah.
Take him in there and let's work on him.
Oh, no.
Working on those skills.
I bought him, and it was funny because Atlas did a video and he was reading everything he got for Christmas. Tell me everything he got for Christmas. So one of the things I bought him was a jousting, these jousting inflatable, you know, so like he can, you know, it's like when you joust with the sword kind of thing, but or the long one that you hold with both hands. So I bought him and he said, so I have a jousting challenge. And he said, and you know, whoever's still standing, that's who wins. And I said, oh, so you'll be doing it with your dad? He was like, yes. Because I was like, you got to get this kid used to tussling and physical interaction because he gonna have to fight, bruh. You ain't gonna be able to protect him. I don't care what school you put him in.
Lord,
he gonna have to fight, man.
Saturday Night Live did a skit, and it was these cavemen. And so first thing the dude came up was he invented fire. And all the people were celebrating him inventing fire and talked about how smart he was. And then he invented the wheel. And everybody talked about how smart he was. And then one of the guys killed him. He said, now I'm the smartest.
Because you killed a smart guy.
Because you killed the smart guy. So
that's your whole claim to fame.
That's your whole claim to fame. Yeah. And can I say this about our children? Let's encourage them to be smart. I'm not, you know, I think, and I'm not going to say be nerds, because nerds is a whole totally different level of consciousness that very few people will reach in terms of nerdiness.
Yeah. I mean, because I tell people all the time, I'm a complete underachiever. In no way do I live up to my potential. In no way.
And I know that this is a disappointment to my mom. She's never said it, but my mom always thought I'd be the PhD in the family.
I'm like, my mother went to her grave like, Michelle, is you gonna finish that? Like, what is you doing?
Thought it was gonna be
she just always was. And but
I tried to explain to her, but if I become a PhD, mom, I'll have to have a white wife.
I mean, no, that's not how that works. Moving on past you and your ignorance. But you know, one thing,
sure you want that?
I would just always tell her, like, you know, education is important to me, always has been, but I didn't have to necessarily have the degrees, but I always believed in education. Mm-hmm. And my mother, you know, she was just like, yeah, but the degrees bring a different level, because my mom was all about the income,
Right.
or access. So Michelle, why limit your possibilities? It would be different if you couldn't. But I just have never been that person. I'm like, okay, whatever.
And I think that it wasn't, and I was trying to, can I talk about a trauma in my life as a child?
The couch is not open.
Okay.
Go ahead. Talk about your
No, I think that innately I have a very mathematical logic kind of stream in my thinking, but when it actually comes to actual math, I'm not very good at it. But when it comes to reading, oh man, I'm a champ, right? And I thought
and when you
about
say reading, because I'm assuming you're talking about comprehension.
no, just reading, love for reading, comprehension, the whole piece. I was a couple grade levels ahead when I was reading in school, but I was awful in math. My mother, when I was young, would read to me out of this Bible book, right? There's all these Bible stories. I couldn't wait to learn how to read. I was like an enslaved person when they came preach the Bible. I would do the talking book. So I loved that. That was so positive. Math was different. My mother, because she's mathematically gifted, thought that then I should be. And so her whole thing was aversion in terms of how I learned math.
Right.
And I know what she was doing, make them disciplined, da. But what it did was for me, I just like, dude, I don't like math. Because I associated it with the little licks I got in my hand. Where with reading, I associated that with these intimate moments that I was having, with my mom. I believe one of the reasons you were talking about the exposure of Kennedy, because, books everywhere, right? Books. We put a book in your hand before you get a toy. And put a toy in your hand, it's going to be an educational toy, right? I mean, and then what she discovered was the positive affirmation she got when she read.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, we literally set them up. We set them on a course, whether we appreciate it or not, because they don't know. And so we were like, oh my God, you did such a great job. That was excellent. Right. Well, and then in Atlas' case, let's go get ice cream, because his daddy is whatever excuse to go. So let's go do this. Let's go do this. And so, Atlas was like, and of course we went to get ice cream.
Right. But see, that affirmation in terms of learning. Now, depending on the teacher you had, like I had some teachers who, dude, and look, I learned, but it wasn't the funnest experience. And then I had other teachers where I did learn. Mr. Sternberg, he was my third grade teacher at Fifth Street School. One of the things, like beyond what my mom did, Mr. Sternberg, man, our vocabulary in the second and third grade, because he'd have us do these flashcards, right? But when it came to my math, I would hide my math. I wouldn't do it. So they go through my desk and all that math that I stuck up in there. I hate the fact that I wasn't more serious about math, because what I discovered was, dude, you really do have a mathematical mind. But it was that. And it's not my mom's fault.
I think some of it also,
because I was trying to get to why I didn't like math.
Show the development of our personality, because, you can have those teachers who tell you can't do something, and then like, no, I'm about to prove you wrong.
Take your kid out of that class.
Yeah.
If you ever have a teacher tell you what you can't do.
And I mean, and if you got the luxury of being able to do that, but.
And here's a little MPS mantra that a lot of MPS students heard. You're a waste of space. When a teacher tells you that you're a waste of space, that's tough. That's real tough.
But who was saying that?
I had one guy get up and he was talking about where he went to school, and he was.
But I don't think that was the norm.
Man,
that wasn't the norm.
Norm, and I'm saying norm. I'm telling you, there were teachers.
I mean, but when you say something like an MPS mantra,
I learned it at MPS because I heard a couple of teachers say it to me in MPS.
Mantra.
Maybe I was a waste of space.
That's a bit much.
Maybe I was.
We not. You little people that didn't go to MPS, we ain't gonna keep taking.
I went to MPS.
Yeah. But we know you value Dominican more.
No, I didn't. No. We all talk about our high school. But you hear me talk about my junior high school. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, we can't say that was an MPS mantra.
I bet you there's X number of people listening out there heard a
but do you know
teacher
how many?
say,
But hundreds of thousands of children have gone through this system.
okay, did I say hundreds of thousands of?
But when
because
you
I
say
used the word mantra.
mantra implies.
Okay. Well, here, let me restructure that sentence. Addie, get your adverbs here. I heard it now.
Dude, I have been here for your whole show.
I know. I apologize for that. You got to come back and work this afternoon.
Jesus.
Man, I'm sorry. Huh?
What'd you say? I don't have to come back? Oh, okay.
No, that's not what he said. You probably not what. Well, are we clear?
No, not yet.
We listen to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. And
she hit that funny bone. And it ain't funny with it.
Oh, that hurt. I know that hurt. Oh, man, when you do that bone on your knee and you hit something, you got a cramp.
She'll be all right.
You need to hydrate, friend. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The passing of a loved one is emotional enough without adding the stress of funeral arrangements. By pre-planning, you receive the desires of your heart while taking away the burden from your family. It also saves you money, providing the dignity and respect your memory deserves. And there are times when life ends unexpectedly. Please know that the New Pitts Mortuary is here to lend a helping, caring hand anytime, day or night. We are the New Pitts Mortuary.
voice. We don't have to call 991, do we? That's a Kennedy calling 991. Yeah, they had to call 991. That's a call.
They never did show up.
They never show up. She said 991. Caller, welcome to the program.
Yeah, first thing I want to say is happy holidays.
Same to you.
To the people who take your kindness for a weakness, or to people who did you wrong in relationships, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Let them rot. I don't care if they are. Let them rot. I don't care if they're on the curve and their stomach is coming out their back. Let them rot. Because if they did something, they did it because it was within their heart, not because they had to, because they wanted to. Let them rot. Number two, you brought up something about a lot of people with, people suffering. I feel like this. Jesus only fights if you're white. If you're black, get back. For what you seek, you're colored. Change the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. And from what I see with reality, where is this power? They say we're supposed to be living in sin, but I ain't never known a newborn baby to be filthy and guilty, yet they're dying of leukemia and cancer.
That's right.
Where's this ultimate power? Yep. Then they say, oh, well, you have to give yourself. Well, how much do you want me to give?
Keep drinking.
Yeah, I'm not licking your feet. My love and my care is not on contingency. If you feel I'm not good enough, they can rot, and their whole family can rot too. So I tell people, when you do something and you look into somebody, you do it because you are worth it. You was not put on this earth to struggle while somebody else sitting here with streets of gold and crystal chandeliers that probably came from slave labor. So I feel like this. Stay true to who you are. But if you keep looking on that thing in the sky, they're going to continue to tap dance. They probably drinking the best liquor out of the best crystal chandelier. And you're going to continue to suffer. So people say, call on God. I said, you call on him all you want, but you ain't going to get it till you get ready and get your last breath. And that is why we're so jacked up. Because if you look, you got dope fiends and alcoholics. They have half of a liver, and they 3 meals a day is crack and cocaine. They can outrun somebody who's vegan. And they life ain't going through no struggle. So me personally, I feel like God only fights if you're white. Because if you look at our history, what we suffered, you got power to kick everybody to heaven because everybody was up there hoeing with the fallen angels. But when people getting fed to alligators, you can't do nothing. No. You stay right where you is, and you better not show up at my door, because if you do, I'm busting you in the head with a J. Rose J bottle. And depending on how I am, I might stab you with an imperator. Have a good holiday.
What a way to end that out. Rot. Let them rot.
I want him know white Jesus ain't showed up yet for us. So I'm looking for white Jesus, which gets us back to this whole idea of predeterminism and who does God select, and then when did God select them, right? I mean, part of Jehovah's Witness theology is that only 144,000 people, the 12 tribes of Israel, are going to go to heaven. And everybody else will then live on the new earth. Well, how does God determine who gets in the 144,000? And the fact that we have 7 billion people on the planet now, does that 144,000, did that number get adjusted based on the population in the world? But this idea that I've asked clergy, does God have favorites? And for some people, but that's a tough one because we've been taught about Christianity, particularly talks about the personal God, right? And how that's such an important part of our theology. Caller, welcome to the program. How you feeling? Drink some more. Some more.
WNOB. Y'all did it again, Michelle Bryan. You got the number one radio station again for 2 years in a row. Hello?
Good.
Thank you. We're glad to hear that.
Better drink
Ray
some more
Thank you,
Mackey,
water for
folks.
hey, you did it again, Michelle Brown. You did it for 2 years in a row. You got the #1 radio station. I'm telling brothers and sisters, if y'all going through a problem, you at home cleaning up, put it on 860. Michelle gonna tell you to say something real, and she gonna help the whole community. Kia here in heaven doing the show right now.
I like that.
And I Ray Mackey and Michelle Brown, hey, you did it for 2 years in a row.
Thank you,
Today
baby.
means unity. Today means unity. That's brothers and sisters. Call 860 WME. Man, the radio is going to wake you up. Talk, listen, wisdom. Go to the disco on Friday, but every day you in your house, you're going to learn something. We got educators at 860. We got lawyers, doctors, counselors. Say something rude, we can help you. God said in the Bible, those who've been despised, they will be rejected, it's going to inherit the earth. I don't see no other race of people but doing that now. Turn on the radio and I'm Ray Matthews on my eye.
So you spent 3 minutes going on about how good Michelle was on my program.
Yeah,
All right.
I was thinking the same thing, Keith.
But I'm not offended. Drink some more water before you try to walk, man. Because if you fall down, we ain't gonna try to help you up. I'm just telling you now.
We ain't gonna be able to help up. I knew that get her. She's feeling better now. Already.
Oh yeah.
She ready to whoop a little behind now. Oh yeah.
Oh man, but I know, man. Cramps ain't no joke, dude. Cramps are no joke. We try to, and we say this time of year. I know we won't be doing Be Healthy Be You until next year. But one of the things they always talk about is our ability to stay hydrated. We need to stay hydrated. People think in the wintertime, especially in the wintertime, because as cold you get, your body is working. And then the other thing is some of the things that we do. I'm a 2 cup of coffee guy. And so I have to be mindful of that because coffee is a diuretic, which means that you're going to be urinating a lot. So you think about that. Folks who drink certain types of liquor, a hangover is really severe dehydration. It really is. That's what a hangover is all about. So as much as we stay hydrated, drink a lot of water. I'm just
coffee and sodas won't get it.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah, but it was really strange when we had the crypto outbreak. There was everybody just about in the office that I worked in on 9th and Mitchell ended up getting cryptosporidium. Part of that was because what they discovered was it was the Howard processing plant, that little place you see on Howard. And then they found out later, because at first they thought it was runoff from, like cow waste and up north. That wasn't the case. What happened was they had built the that outlet where the water's dumped out. It was too close to the inlet, and so it got back in. And that's how we end up getting crypto. Now, if anybody's had cryptosporidium, that is ooh. But we had one guy who was an alcoholic. He did not get crypto because he never drank water. And when he drank water from the Howard plant, it was in coffee. So, now it's been. So he was the only one that didn't get crypto. Everybody else in that office. As a matter of fact, crypto was so bad that then I want to say it was County Executive Ament sued the city because of all of the personnel hours lost to cryptosporidium. So when people, again, that was, I'll never forget when I hit it because there was the North Lincoln alumni game and then ended up going, we went down, they had the after party down at, what is the Barrett Center now? That was the old, was that the Mecca? The building, but anyway, we had it over there. I'll never forget, I went home. Wisconsin Center. And man, I went home that night. My stomach started gurgling. And for 3 days, it was like hell. Oh my God. And then you get to the point you can't expend anything out your body.
You ain't got nothing.
You ain't got nothing left, man. It was like, whoa. So, and then here again, we talk about communicable
like
diseases.
They make you take before you go to have a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
You think that That clean you out, brother.
Man, it clean you out, and it's awful. And you can't do the little bottles anymore because they said that caused heart problems. So you got to do the jug, and ooh, man. And my brother did it. He had to redo it because it didn't cleanse the way it was supposed to cleanse.
He was full of it.
Yeah, man, I was too. I mean, it was. Is that me?
That sounds like Michelle's phone.
All right. Okay. Oh man. Okay.
Well, Keith, looks like that time.
Is it about that time?
Yeah, it's about that time.
We got the good folks coming in from Wisconsin Voices, or are they off?
No, today's Thursday.
Okay. Christmas, Friday
it would be
night.
Money Talks with Coral Plez.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it would be Money Talks
Money
today. However,
Talks
she's
on
not
Wednesday.
in.
That's crazy when Christmas is like in the middle of the week, man.
Yeah,
Because
throws
it
you all the
felt
way
like
off.
a Sunday, and now I got to get them to go to work the next day. But let me thank everyone. And hopefully everyone did have a time to spend with your family.
Or family to spend it with.
Or family to
As
spend it
jacked
with.
up as they may be, they're still your family.
They're still your family or your friends or all those things that you do. Let's appreciate. My sister yesterday, I'm trying to remember how she summed it up. Because and every year can be a difficult year, right? I mean, and let's think about all the good things that's happened during the year too. So it can be pretty tough. And again, it hit me once more when I thought about the word of the year for me was joy, that in spite of difficulty, we still can experience joy, and that we should continue to live until we die. And I know that sounds really trite, but just get the most out of life that you can, because the next day is not promised. And so as much as we can get a chance to just live life, enjoy life. There's nothing that says that one shouldn't enjoy life. Enjoy life, enjoy the people that are around you. I heard Ray Macish say that, Keanu's doing a radio show up in heaven. He probably suspended now.
Been suspended 3 times already since he got up there. Yeah,
Man, don't you come up in here.
You know you're wrong, right?
You get suspended in heaven.
He's been suspended already 3 times since he got up there. I told you. No, you just don't believe it, do you? You just don't believe Fat Me Greedy, do you, Keon?
Oh my God. Let me thank Michelle. I know that this was not planned, but thank you for being part of the program. Carvey. Hey, man, appreciate you. Demo, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
The good Lord will the creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.